There's a 400-year gap hiding in your Bible, and one man's ambition fills it. The Hebrew Bible's narrative ends in the 500s BCE with Jews returning from Babylon, but its latest document was written around 164 BCE. What happened in those 4 centuries? The Book of Daniel, composed in 164 BCE, responds to events centuries after the return from exile. And this isn't a minor gap, it's the entire Hellenistic period. The biblical narrative ends with Ezra and Nehemiah rebuilding Jerusalem, and Daniel appears to predict future empires, but was written during Greek persecution of Jews. Between these bookends, Alexander's conquest, the rise and fall of empires, and the crisis that sparked the Maccabean revolt. The answer begins with a 20-year-old Macedonian who conquered the known world. Alexander the Great inherited the throne of Macedonia in 336 BCE at age 20. Within 13 years, he conquered the largest empire the world had ever seen. From Greece to Egypt to the borders of India, his vision extended beyond military conquest. Alexander promoted religious syncretism, the blending of different religious traditions. He established Greek as the common language across his territories. He founded dozens of cities modeled on Greek design, including Alexandria in Egypt. This systematic spread of Greek language, culture, and customs is called Hellenization. The Hellenistic period, from Alexander's death in 323 BCE to Rome's dominance around 31 BCE, transformed the ancient world. It differs from classical Greece and the later Greco-Roman era. Greek became what English is today, the language of commerce, diplomacy, and elite culture, a lingua franca, a common language used between people who speak different native languages. Local populations kept their languages. Egyptians still spoke Egyptian. Jews still spoke Aramaic and Hebrew. But anyone wanting power, education, or trade needed Greek. This created a two-tier society. Greek-speaking elites controlled government, commerce, and education. Native-speaking masses maintained traditional customs below. The question for every conquered people: how much Greek culture do you adopt? Alexander died at 32 in Babylon, 323 BCE, with no clear heir. His generals immediately turned on each other. Decades of brutal warfare followed. The wars of the successors lasted over 40 years. Eventually, 4 major kingdoms emerged from the wreckage. 3 matter for our story. The Seleucids controlled Syria and Babylon. The Ptolemies ruled Egypt. The Antagonists held Macedonia and Greece. A 4th kingdom stretched into the eastern territories but plays less role in Jewish history. These weren't weak successor states. They were powerful, wealthy empires that lasted for centuries until Rome absorbed them one by one. The Seleucids present a naming nightmare. Founded by General Seleucus, they controlled the largest territory from Syria through Babylon toward Persia. Here's the problem. They alternated between 2 names: Seleucus I, then Antiochus I, Seleucus II, Antiochus II, Seleucus III, Antiochus III, Antiochus IV. This matters because Antiochus IV, called Epiphanes, meaning God manifest, becomes the villain of the Hanukkah story. When you encounter these names in historical sources, the pattern helps you track which ruler you're reading about. The Ptolemies offer simpler bookkeeping. General Ptolemy seized Egypt, the ancient world's breadbasket and the treasury. The Nile's predictable floods made Egypt fabulously wealthy. All the rulers were named Ptolemy, distinguished by nicknames. Ptolemy Philadelphus means sibling lover, a reference to the Egyptian practice of royal sibling marriage they adopted. The Ptolemies ruled as Greco-Egyptian god-kings, blending Greek and Egyptian culture more smoothly than the Seleucids blended with their subjects. Now look at the map. Judea sits exactly between these 2 rival empires. The Seleucids controlled Syria to the north. The Ptolemies held Egypt to the south. Every major trade route and military road connecting these empires passed through Jewish territory. Every time Seleucids and Ptolemies fought, which was constantly, armies marched through Judea. The Syrian wars between these empires spanned over a century, 6 major conflicts, countless smaller skirmishes. The Jews weren't just witnesses to history, they were its battlefield. Their land changed hands multiple times. First under Ptolemaic control, then seized by the Seleucids in 198 BCE. This Hellenistic context explains developments that otherwise seem disconnected. The New Testament was written in Greek, not Hebrew, not Aramaic, because Greek remained the common language of the Eastern Mediterranean 3 centuries after Alexander. Jewish communities had to decide how much Greek culture to accept. Some embraced it fully, others resisted violently, most navigated somewhere between. The Maccabean Revolt, the origin of Hanukkah, was a response to forced Hellenization under Antiochus IV Epiphanes. The Book of Daniel, written during that crisis, uses coded language to encourage Jewish resistance. It responds to Seleucid persecution, not predicts it from centuries earlier. It says here, the question that emerges from this period remains urgent. How do you maintain your identity when the dominant culture offers power, prosperity, and participation, but at the cost of your traditions? Greek culture wasn't simply forced on conquered peoples, it offered real advantages. Greek education opened doors. Greek language enabled trade. Greek customs granted social mobility. The pressure to Hellenize came as much from opportunity as from oppression. This tension between cultural preservation and cultural adaptation drove Jewish history for centuries. It shaped the conflicts between Jewish factions. It influenced how early Christians spread their message. It echoes in every minority community navigating a dominant culture today. The Hellenistic world Alexander created became the stage where Jewish and Christian history unfolded.